Are we ready? Good evening. I would like to call the meeting today, which is May the 15th, 2025, 6:05 p.m., a meeting of the Forest Park Planning Commission to order. The Planning Commission serves as the recommending body for the Mayor and City Council. The Planning Commission shall recommend approval with conditions, or denial of applications being forwarded to the Mayor and City Council. All persons who wish to address the Planning Commission shall sign up on the form to be provided by the Planning Secretary prior to the commencement of this hearing. Each speaker shall speak only to the merits of the proposed petition under consideration and shall address his remarks only to the members of the Planning Commission. The applicant, as well as proponents for or against the petition, shall have 10 minutes to speak during the public hearing portion of this meeting. Prior to speaking, the speaker will identify him or herself and state his or her name and current address. Only persons who are signed up may speak to the petitions being heard. Staff will present the petition, and then I will ask the board members if they have any questions. Then I will open up the meeting for public comments, at which time the applicant will speak first, followed by additional speakers. Once everybody has spoken, I will then close the public comments for discussion and recommendation by the Planning Commission members. Today, we have one new item on the agenda. So, Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Asper Huck.
Present.
Asper Huck is present. Michael Clinkscales.
Present.
Michael Clinkscales is present. Roderick Jackson.
Present.
Roderick Jackson is present. Donald Williams. Donald Williams is absent. Lois Wright. Lois Wright is absent. Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
Thank you, ma'am. So the first order of business is the adoption and the approval of April 17th, 2025 meeting minutes. Can somebody move a motion for that?
A motion that we adopt that the agenda is as is, and then also the approval of the minutes. I second.
All in favor? All opposed? So the motion is passed. Now, going up to the new business, you want to take it over from here, Ms. Lawan?
Yes. Good morning, Chair.
Yeah,
Morning.
you
Good afternoon, Chairman and board members. How are you all
Glad you
today?
wanted to see who was awake.
It felt like morning. Today's case is RZ 2025-01, rezone request for 5116 Sergeant Street, parcel 13080A E005. The applicant, Terrell Rental Properties LLC, Tony Terrell, is requesting a rezone of a 0.208 plus or minus acre lot within the single-family residential district to two-family residential district RT to allow a two-family home duplex in Ward 3. The subject property is a residential, and also the future land use is low-density residential. The subject property is a residential dwelling located at 5116 Sergeant Street, situated on approximately 0.208 plus or minus acres on the southeast corner of South Avenue and Sergeant Street in Ward 3. It is currently zoned RS, and according to Clayton County property records, consists of a 2-bedroom, 1-bath rent-style single-family home measuring approximately 1,632 square feet. On March 6, 2024, the applicant submitted a plan check application with the stated scope of work described as complete renovation rebuild deck. On March 11, 2024, Planning and Zoning reviewed and approved the application based solely on the deck rebuild, as no information was provided indicating change in use or exterior structure remodel. The following day, March 12, 2024, the building official conducted its initial review of the building renovation plans and issued a denial letter. The denial cited insufficient detail to confirm compliance with 2018 International Residential Code, R507 requirements for decks, and requested full construction details, including footings, framing, stair attachments, railings, and electrical plans. On March 22nd, 2024, the applicant submitted revised plans with an updated description of work for renovation of property inside and out, not extending or altering structure, rebuilding old deck. Because the zoning review had already been completed based on original scope, the building division solely reviewed the resubmitted plans. The building official approved the plans and included a standard disclaimer on the approved plan set stating, every effort has been made to identify code violations. Any oversight by the reviewer shall not be considered as authority to violate, set aside, cancel, or alter applicable codes and ordinances. The plan review and permit issuance shall not be considered of warranty or guarantee. Following the approval, construction was completed and inspections passed. However, it was during the final stages that the city identified the property had been converted into a two-family dwelling, which is a use not permitted in the RS zoning district. The applicant now seeks to rezone the property from RS to RT and bring the use into compliance. It is also noted as the Clayton County tax records continue to classify the property as a single-family ranch home. City records do not show any permits issued for structural additions such as a second level or expanded square footage, which would typically be associated with the conversion of a two-family dwelling. Additionally, had the applicant disclosed a full exterior remodel and initially their initial submission on March 6th, the project would have been required to have review and approval from the city's mayor and council for a duplex rezoning to RT and urban design review board for exterior alterations, which had not been conducted. Per section 8-828 of the zoning ordinance, the RS district is intended to promote an average density of 5 dwelling units per acre. The subject property is 0.208 plus or minus acre, which is below the size generally needed to accommodate 2 dwelling units while maintaining the intended density and character of the surrounding single-family neighborhood. As such, the current request for rezoning aims to reconcile the build condition of the property with the city zoning regulations. Based off the zoning classification of contiguous properties, north, south, east, and west of the property are all single-family residential district. I have provided an aerial map for you all for your review, as well as a zoning map and a future land use map that also displays those designations. On page 14, you will see site photos, which shows the property as it currently stands with the renovations completed. Page 15 also is additional view of the current property. On page 16, I provided you all with the surrounding properties photos. So west of the parcel is a single-family residential home. It's also zoned single-family residential district. East of the parcel is a single-family residential home, zoned single-family residential district. South of the parcel is a single-family residential home, zoned single-family residential district. And north of the parcel is a single-family residential home, zoned single-family residential district. On page 18, I have provided a site plan as well as 19, a boundary survey. And I have also included an impact summary. With a review, Public Works and Fire did not conduct a review due to the structure being built and modified without full staff review. The building inspector is the only additional department to review this development. As far as the planning staff review, staff recognizes that the property is approximately 0.208 acres and may limit the ability to accommodate the proposed two-family use under the current zoning. The request to rezone from RS to RT could result in a use that is inconsistent with the surrounding single-family residential district, especially given the property size. The proposed rezoning may create an isolated district that does not align with the established pattern of the low-density single-family development in the area, disrupting the zoning continuity and potentially affecting the character of the neighborhood. If rezoning is approved and current two-family residential zoning district requires the following minimum front, side, and rear setbacks. In the RT district, it requires a 25-foot front setback, a 10-foot side, 25-foot front setback, a 10-foot side yard setback, and a 30-foot rear yard setback. Based off this, the staff recommendation, staff has reviewed the applicant's request to rezone the property at 5116 Sergeant Street from RS to RT to permit the continued use of structure as a two-family dwelling. While the applicant has stated the work was completed in good faith in coordination with the city's permitting process, the current zoning designation and zoning ordinance for future land use map and surrounding neighborhood all support low density, single family residential development at an average of 5 dwelling units per acre. The subject property does not meet the intended density when proposed for 2 units and is located within the consistently of RS zoned area. Additionally, the city's planning policies generally discourage spot zoning, where it is the rezoning of individual parcels in a way that is inconsistent with the surrounding zoning pattern and long-term land use vision. Such practices can undermine the integrity of the zoning map and create compatibility challenges within stable residential neighborhoods. Given these factors, staff finds the proposed rezoning does not align with current zoning guidelines or the character of the surrounding areas. However, in recognition of the unique permitting circumstances, staff defers the final decision to the mayor and council for consideration and recommends that the body weigh this request carefully in light of applicable zoning regulations and future land use guidelines. Should mayor and council choose to approve the request, staff recommends the following conditions be applied to the approval. 1, use limitation. The property shall be limited to a maximum of 2 dwelling units and shall not be further subdivided or converted into any form of multifamily or short-term rental use. 2, occupancy and licensing. The applicant should obtain all necessary occupancy permits, inspections, and business licensing, if applicable, prior to any residential use of the second unit. 3, architectural review compliance. The applicant will be required to apply for Urban Design Review Board for review and approval of landscaping, exterior architectural design, and the building facade. Any future exterior modifications or additions shall require review and approval by the Urban Design Review Board to ensure compatibility with the surrounding properties. 4, tax record update. Should the rezoning be approved, the applicant will be required to coordinate with Clayton County to update the property classification and structure details in the official tax records to reflect its current 2-family use and appropriate square footage. 5, parking compliance. The applicant shall ensure that adequate off-street parking is provided on the site in accordance with the city's zoning ordinance. 6, conformance with RT zoning standards. Approval of the rezoning from RS to RT shall require the applicant to comply with the requirements of Section 8-831 two-family residential district standards, including A, based on submitted site plan, the applicant must apply for a variance request to allow the reduction of the side yard setback from the required 10 feet to 8.5 feet for the left side of the home. B, based off the submitted site plan, the applicant must apply for a variance to request to allow the reduction of the rear yard setback from the required 30 feet to 5.2 feet. And C, each unit proposed shall have parking capacity of 2 vehicles per unit. 7, zoning map amendment. This approval shall apply solely to the property at 5116 Sergeant Street and shall not be constructed as precedent for similar requests in the surrounding RS zone neighborhoods. And then there is another condition that we update the future land use map to reflect this designation if it is approved. And that conducts my staff report. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Any of you have a question? If not, I'll open the floor for anybody who has to say anything. Somebody you're here for something, sir?
Please say it.
My name's Tony Terrell. The subject property address or my physical? 449 Trousseau Lane, McDonough, Georgia, 30252. Just going back on the subject property, so obviously there's some history here. The tax assessor's page did not reflect the actual square foot, which tax assessor said 816. Well, it's a 2-family, 2-story structure, so something along the way was not recorded correctly. And the drawings that was submitted, 2-meter basis, was in the electrical drawings. It had units upstairs, units downstairs, had two electrical panels. And I'm not sure on the unit, the property located immediately across the street is being utilized as a duplex as well. Okay, so two-family has 2-meter bases. And according to my research, I could be wrong. Again, I'm not sure about Clayton County. As far as the tax assessors, Q Public, I'm not really, I know it's not here in Clayton County, but definitely being utilized as a two-family residence duplex, 2 meters, unit A and unit B, okay, located immediately across the street. And that, if you want to go back onto the map on page On page 16, it is the top structure, the blue house. And you can zoom in and you can see there's 2-meter bases there currently.
What page are you talking about, sir?
Page 16. And it's the top image.
Okay. You're talking about the one that is east of the parcel,
Yes, sir. Uh-huh. The west of parcel.
west of parcel.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, here it's RS. I've seen somewhere, and again, I'm not really familiar with how Clayton County and the tax assessors, but I seen something I actually sent to my attorney when going back and forth with it because we was researching it, that this was a duplex and classified as a duplex on it's either the tax assessor's page or some page. Not sure exactly, but I could provide that documentation. But
Is
getting
that
back
for
to-
your property or the one you're talking across the street?
Sir?
Is that for your property or the one you're talking across
Across
the
the street.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
gotcha.
Yes, sir. Immediately across the street.
Gotcha.
In regards to my property, again, something when it came up, because when when it was all brought about, again, all this inspections was conducted, approved. And when it came about is when we went to get, is what they call temporary to permanent power. So after the house is finished and all the electrical devices are installed, the portion of the inspection is called temp to permanent. And basically they connect power back to the house.
Mhm.
And when this came up, they released the permit and my electrician called me. He said, hey, they've only released 1 or 2 permits. And I said, oh, okay. Well, I emailed, inspections here at Forest Park and, or permits rather. And I told him, I said, hey, can you release unit B permit? And then she's like, when it was discovered saying, oh, there's a problem. This is not zone A for a 2-family residence. It's for single family. So at that point, it was the big stop, sorting through all the, sorting through everything. I will disclose on the drawings, it did show the unit as it currently stands. 2-meter bases, 2 electrical panels, 2 kitchens, 2 very similar units, upstairs, downstairs. Also in regards to what Ms. Irons said, there is, I sent a markup, but we do have 2 parking spaces per unit. Okay, unit A, 1 and 2, unit B, 1 and 2. So yeah, and then the setbacks, there's no way, again, I think it was built 1952. And there are so many variances and stuff that's outside. I don't know if something was recorded right. Obviously, we know there was some stuff done that wasn't done and recorded. So I am a licensed contractor. In order for me to do anything, I have to go through the proper channels, pull the permits, because obviously my license online. So that's what I did from the very beginning. Submitted the plans, submitted the drawings, and currently what we have and what I submitted and what was approved is currently what we have on site. All inspections at this point has been approved. And just awaiting this meeting and whatever we need to do.
Question, from the beginning, was it established that it was gonna be a duplex?
Yes, sir. So in the drawings, that's red line stamped from the city, shows the property just as it is.
Oh,
Okay, it shows both meter bases. It shows 2-meter bases. It shows 2 electrical panels. Shows 2 kitchens. So nothing is out of the, with the exception of some as-built, meaning
Mhm.
these meters, bases was initially showed on the left side of where they currently are. So with the exception of some as-built, only because of site conditions, everything is as approved.
So my one question to you is very simple. Did you say in your plan designs that you were converting it into a duplex? Or that word was ever mentioned or never mentioned?
Well, in the permit process with the.
The design,
Sir?
in the design that you did, but did you ever bring it up that, hey, you're going to convert it to a duplex?
No, so that's the thing. It was already what it was. We just done a renovation. So at what point it was converted and not recorded, yes, ma'am. At some point, when I say this house was old and there was so many things not right about the house, so looks like somebody at some point, it was probably a little bit of everything at some point. Okay. So that was the point of pulling the permits and going through the proper channels to get to where I am.
Anything else? Anybody else has to add? All right, so the floor is closed. Have a seat, Mr. Terrell. Ms. Irons?
Yes, I just wanted to make a comment. So he mentioned the year the home was built. If in fact it was previously a two-family home, anything built prior to the update of our zoning ordinance would be considered non-conforming. So once you make changes to a structure, it loses that non-conformity and would have to be brought present to our current zoning ordinance. So granted, based off of the site location and the layout of where the home's location on the property, even if he is unable to make those changes, he would still have to apply to receive that variance for the approval based off of making changes and doing construction on the home. Now, had it been left as is, it would stay to the nonconformity of what it was pre-existing.
Question, are you able to meet those conditions? What have been presented to you?
Yes.
Absolutely. All conditions that Ms. Irons outlined, I would most certainly meet.
Anything else?
No, nothing else.
So based on what was presented and what is Ms. Irons' propositions, I would like for one of you to make a motion. Which way we need to go?
I motion that we approve it, that it be met with the conditions after meeting with the mayor.
And that's second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. There's no against, so it's approved as per applied for with the conditions and the approval of the mayor. Other than that, is there anything else on the agenda, Ms. Irons?
No, we only had one item today.
So can somebody make a move to adjourn the meeting, please?
I motion that we adjourn the meeting.
I second.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
True. Stick around for at least an hour.
You crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's get to work.
they can pull it off.